Global News Update, January 21, 2026. Good morning. Ankara. This is your Global Daily Briefing for Wednesday, January 21, 2026. We are covering the most critical developments from the past 24 hours across the globe, spanning geopolitics, the economy, finance, technology, and logistics. World news, tensions at Davos and geopolitical shifts. We begin in Davos, Switzerland, where the World Economic Forum is underway amidst a backdrop of escalating transatlantic tensions. The headlines are dominated by U.S. President Donald Trump's intensified rhetoric regarding Greenland. In a move that has rattled diplomatic circles, President Trump has threatened to impose new, punitive tariffs on nations that oppose his proposal to purchase the territory. European leaders have responded swiftly. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen, speaking earlier today, vowed an unflinching response to what she termed coercive economic threats. The EU is reportedly preparing a suite of countermeasures should Washington move forward with these tariffs. This standoff has cast a long shadow over the summit, where discussions on global cooperation are now being sidelined by the specter of a renewed trade war. Meanwhile, in the Middle East, the humanitarian crisis in Gaza remains a focal point. World leaders are debating the formation of a board of peace to administer the region, though skepticism remains high. Reports from human rights organizations released yesterday have drawn sharp international condemnation regarding conditions in detention facilities, adding urgency to the diplomatic talks.
Economy and finance, market volatility, and the IMF outlook. Turning to the economy, global markets have reacted negatively to the geopolitical friction. Major indices in the US and Europe slid firmly into the red over the last 24 hours. The Stoxx 600 in Europe dipped significantly, and US futures are trading lower as investors price in the risk of a fragmented global trade system. Despite the market turbulence, the International Monetary Fund, IMF, released its January 2026 World Economic Outlook update today, projecting a picture of resilience. The IMF forecasts global growth to hold steady at roughly 3.3% for the year. However, they warn of divergent forces. While technology investment and private sector adaptability are buoying growth, trade policy headwinds, specifically these new tariff threats, pose a significant downside risk. In Asia, we are seeing a major strategic pivot. Reports confirm that China is accelerating its 15th five-year plan initiatives, aggressively shifting production bases into Southeast Asia to circumvent U.S. tariffs. This rebalancing is reshaping regional economies, with Vietnam and Thailand seeing increased foreign direct investment as Chinese firms diversify their supply chains.
Technology, the future of manufacturing and AI expansion. In technology news, all eyes are on Tokyo today as Factory Innovation Week kicks off. The event has showcased a new generation of humanoid robots designed to work alongside humans on assembly lines, signaling a major leap in manufacturing digital transformation, DX. In the semiconductor sector, Micron Technology has made a massive move, signing a letter of intent to acquire a fabrication site in Taiwan for $1.8 billion. This acquisition is aimed at ramping up DRAM production to meet the insatiable global demand for memory chips, driven largely by the AI boom. Speaking of AI, reports out of Beijing suggest the Chinese artificial intelligence sector is seeing a resurgence of activity, a year after the so-called DeepSeek shock of 2025. Domestic investment is pouring into local LLMs as the country strives for technological self-sufficiency. Additionally, a breakthrough in aerospace safety was announced by researchers at the University of Toronto. They have developed a new sensor technology that could eliminate the need for toxic aircraft de-icing fluids, potentially saving the industry billions and significantly reducing environmental impact.
Logistics supply chain adaptation. Finally, in logistics, the industry is entering 2026 with a note of caution. The latest reports from major carriers like Maersk and CMA CGM highlight a year of transition. CMA CGM has announced a major revamp of its PX2 service, optimizing routes between Asia and the Caribbean to improve connectivity with Mexico. This is a direct response to the nearshoring trend, as Mexico becomes a critical hub for goods destined for the North American market. However, challenges remain. Logistics managers in the Asia-Pacific region are reporting rising intra-Asia volumes, but warn that new customs regulations, and the looming threat of tariffs are creating a complex compliance environment. Freight rates are expected to remain volatile as carriers adjust capacity to match this uncertain demand.
Conclusion. To summarize, the world enters late January 2026 with a mix of economic resilience and geopolitical fragility. Technology continues to race ahead, offering solutions to manufacturing and safety, while global trade routes are being redrawn in real time to adapt to a more protectionist political landscape. This has been your Global Briefing. I'm Vivian.